Hey guys. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about mental health. Um, so one of the things that I've been doing is journaling. So this was a suggestion from my coach, who basically put into my programming to begin writing my thoughts down. And so when I did this, I started kind of digging deep into some of the things that have happened in my life, over 40 odd years, right? And so I kind of just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And so if you think about a fitness journey, you think about the nutrition aspect and the exercise aspect. And the exercise aspect in our society always gets the biggest kind of emphasis, right? So everybody's always like, hey, exercise more, exercise more, exercise more. And it's always about appearance, right? It's always about appearance. But there is a nutrition aspect. But there's a third piece to this, which is mental health. And so as I started digging into this, I started kind of recognizing sort of my own mental health blocks that I think are going to help me long term to achieve goals that I want to achieve. So let me take you guys way, way back and let's talk up today about body dysmorphia. And so I actually remember the very first time I experienced body dysmorphia, and it is the stupidest thing ever. Uh, but here we go. I was in fifth grade, and I had a textbook that was a science textbook, and part of the science textbook was dealing with human physiology and development. And about fifth grade is when they start teaching you about puberty, right? And so, looking at this textbook, and there was this picture towards probably the latter third of the book of this drawing. It was a drawing of an adolescent kid, maybe 14, 15 years old. But dude was jacked. Like 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 they drew this comically muscular kid. And so throughout the school year, I would stare at this picture. Now, keep in mind, in fifth grade, I'm this fat little kid who has almost no friends, is not very sociable, is not diagnosed yet, but is dealing with things like ADHD, with autism, which I really didn't get diagnosed officially until much, 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 much later in life, right? And for good reason in the 80s. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, this kid is so muscular. It's stuck and burned into my brain. Like, I could probably, if I had an ounce of drawing ability, which is something I'm kind of working on as well, and I'll talk about that in another video. But if I had drawing ability, I could probably draw it. It is seared into my brain. um, that I can remember. But it's fifth grade, right? So I'm looking at this, and it's the '80s, right? So it is the era of the Van Dams and the Schwarzeneggers and the Stallones and the He-Man, right? So being a little boy, I'm like, hey, I want a Barbie, and they're like, no, you can't have a Barbie, but you can have this He-Man action figure. And so I pick up the He-Man action figure, and I'm like, yay! I think I'm gay now. Also, I have severe body dysmorphia now. Thank you. Um, yeah. And so that is what my body dysmorphia brand, because we all have different brands of body dysmorphia and different levels of it, right? But my brand is definitely the hyper masculine, hyper muscled dudes of like the 80s and early 90s. And then you think about when I came of age. And the big thing was Abercrombie and Fitch. So you go to any mall, and Abercrombie and Fitch would have their eye candy outside the store. And so you walk by and you're like, Oh, hello. I'm just discovering my sexuality. And so I am sitting there staring at these guys, and they all have their very Abercrombie look, which is the built up, muscular upper bodies. You must have wide shoulders, defined pecs, big arms, but not too big. And you must have tiny little waist, and you must have tiny legs, right? And so, probably from the late 90s, early aughts, that was like the look, right? Every guy was striving to look like that. So that then fostered and stewed into my body dysmorphia even more. I tried going to the gym multiple times, and every time I went, it was always with body image in mind, right? It was never about health. It was never about fitness. It was always about body image. What did I look like? What did I want to look like? And as a coming out gay man, um, for me, it was very much, oh my God, I want to look like this. This is my idealized gay body. And society told me that was my idealized gay body. And I'm in my early 20s, and so I'm buying into it, right? So, um, this went on, and every time I kind of made a little bit of progress, I would end up backsliding. And, I was always told as a kid, you're a fat guy. You're a fat guy. You're a fat guy. It was just drilled into me. That was just the way I was. That I'm a fat guy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am a fat guy, and that is just the state of my being. And so I kind of accepted that because that's what my mother told me, and that's what people told me, and that's what family told me. And these are the people that you trust in life. So why wouldn't you believe them? Why wouldn't you believe that your, state of being was to be um, on the couch? Then, then I met someone who taught me a very valuable lesson, which was fitness, self worth. Um, these things were not about um, appearance. They were about health. They were about how you moved. They were about um, they were about being stronger than you are physically and mentally. And so this person taught me that, you know, I should be stronger. Don't worry about the body stuff, right? It'll come. It'll come. And just get stronger. And I got stronger. And suddenly I had so much more confidence than I had ever had in my life because I was picking heavy ass shit up, right? And then somewhere along the way, after that, I started losing that again because I started having self doubt. Because I started to think that maybe I needed to focus on the body image stuff again. And so I did. And I became obsessed with it again. And inevitably that caused me to fail. Right? Because it's not about that at the end of the day. Because that stuff will follow. But, you know, being strong is more important in the long run. And so it took another coach to kind of put me back on the track, right? And so my next coach said, "Let's get you back on track. Let's get you stronger. Let's worry about body fat because we do want you leaner so that we can get you moving better. But you know, let's actually get you moving. Let's get you mobilized. Let's get you flexible. Let's get you to where you're moving like a ninja and not, you know, like a just like a gorilla, right? Because that was always my joke in the gym was I'm a gorilla because I'm just an immobile block of object that can pick up a heavy thing. And so I went down that path, and then I kind of got distracted again. And so recently, working with that same coach again, we're getting things back on track, right? And suddenly, as I start doing this journaling and writing things down and thinking about mental health and thinking about what I really want. So if you think about it in terms of three core questions: who are you? Who do you want to be? And what are you going to do to get there? So that's what I'm answering. And that's what I've been answering for like the last 4 to 6 weeks. I've been really kind of focused in on this. So the other thing was that I discovered I was under eating. Another one of the coaches at the gym was really great about, kind of helping me understand that I was under eating. He's like, hey, you need to write this down. I'm like, fine, I'll write that. Oh my God, I'm under eating. So it's been about the last 8 weeks have been about sort of correcting the ship, right? Getting the ship back on course. And now I've got this coach who is fantastic, who is guiding me. I've got a plan, and I'm thinking more and more about this in terms of who I want to be long term. Does that mean the body dysmorphia goes away? No. No, it doesn't, because I still have this body image in my mind. But it has evolved, right? What's so hilarious is if you asked me 4 years ago my ideal body, I would have been a He-Man action figure. I would have been a He-Man action figure. I mean, not detachable arms. That's although you would sleep better at night if you didn't have your arms to deal with, right? But no, but I would be ridiculously muscled. And what I've learned through this journey over the last 5 years is you need a shit ton of drugs to do that. And I'm not willing to do that. And also, I like it better when I weigh less because I move better. And at the end of the day, to me, that's more important than, everybody staring at you when you walk into a room, because that's what it was about, right? That's what it was about. That fixation of hypermuscularity. It was about me wanting everyone to have their eyes on me when I walked into a room, because for all of my life, I have felt like I've always blended into the wall. Because I'm an introvert. I'm not outgoing. I have autism, so I have trouble, starting conversations with people. I'm socially awkward. And so this idea that, if you were just so large that the second you walked in a room, everybody would be like, holy crap, look at that thing. And then you'd be like, yeah, you're all looking at me, right? And that's what it was about. And I'm learning more about myself. And what I'm learning is maybe that's not what I want. Maybe what I really want is to fix the underlying issues, right? I'm still going to have autism. I'm still going to be socially awkward. I'm still an introvert. And these are things that, are just part of me. It's what makes me me. But it means that I can start to evolve my thinking more and think about, what I really want is this, which is to be able to move, to be strong, to be able to jump, to be able to dance, to be able to do the things in life that I want to do. Because that's, at the end of the day, what it's all about. Now, whether that is, me feeling better because I'm lighter, because I'm leaner, because I'm stronger, whether that is, me being able to do active things in addition to my more sedentary stuff, that's the stuff that's going to make me feel better. And it's the stuff that's going to make me, right? Because at the end of the day, I am who I am, and I'm a gamer. Um, I'm a gamer. I am. I'm a creative person who really wants to do a lot of things in life, and I want to have the health, the well-being, the energy levels to do these things, and I'm going to do this through my fitness journey. And my fitness journey is not solely now for I want to look like this, but it's I want to look like this and move like this and be strong, and I want to live a long, fulfilled life, so that when I do sit down and I'm at my gaming station and I'm playing games, that I feel confident, that I can get on Twitch and feel confident that that what I'm doing is good. And let's face it, I don't need six-pack abs to be a Twitch streamer. I don't need six-pack abs to be, on here, despite what Instagram will tell you if you go to your suggestion page. If you are in the fitness community and you have a lot of fitness stuff and you go to your suggestion page, Instagram's going to tell you a very specific thing about what you should look like. And I'm here to tell you, it's time for us to unite, to kick that mentality to the curb. It's time for us to talk about body dysmorphia. It's time for us to talk about mental health and our mental well-beings when it comes to fitness. Because these influencers on Instagram who make us all feel cruddy because we don't have the six-pack abs and because we don't have this body and because we're not 22, somehow we're lesser than they are. And that's complete BS. The reality is everyone has worth. And the reality is that we use fitness as a tool to make ourselves better. Physically and mentally. All right, guys, this went a little longer than I expected, but I'm gonna try to do a few more of these. I'm gonna try to do a few more of these, see how it goes. But definitely looking for suggestions. But I'm thinking a topic a week, and just kind of talking about it. And I'll try to make the next one a little bit shorter. All right, guys. Thanks.